Welcome back, everybody, to another season. Oh, another season? No, another episode.
Yeah, we're going into the fifth season.
Wow. But nah, welcome back to another episode of Bits of Tea with your girls, Queen Koni
And Queen
and
J.
Queen Jade. Y'all, this is the season finale. We are wrapping up season 4. That is wild. Like, that's really crazy.
Oh hell. If you guys didn't already know, we only do like 11 um
11 episodes
episodes.
per
So
season.
mhm.
And then we take a little hiatus, because life got a life, and
Mhm.
then we got to process, and then we move forward and we
Come
share
back
the
with some
tea.
new ish.
Yes, next season is going to be even more lit. We're going to have more guests. We're going to have more hot topics, and it's going to be so much more fun, like as far as the production and things like that. This season we were just on YouTube. However, we started off on all major listening platforms, and I want to go back to that. Like, I want to be live, but I also want to be available via all the podcast, like all the streams. So
Yeah, I
season
can
4 to be
definitely try to see if I can extract some audio and do it that way. That takes a little bit of time and equipment.
right.
But my
Maybe
hopes for
season
season
5.
5 is to actually have a production team that can do all of that for us, and then just have incredible 4K
Yo,
HD in your
like
face, and then transitions from
I'm with that.
Coney and I talking, and then
Yeah.
having, like, I'm looking at big, like, I wanted this season to be that way, but we just decided, that's what we do. If it doesn't manifest in that manner,
Uh-huh.
then we will, go forward with whatever it is that we got, you know,
Yeah, it's all good.
got going on. But season 5, that's the hopes. Like, it's on a grandiose scale. And
Mm-mm.
yeah, 11 episodes, maybe more, who knows? Like, it just depends on how cool the production goes.
Yeah,
And
that's
then how cool, like, the fans, or I would
tribe.
say tribe. Yeah.
Yeah. This season went by so fast. I mean, like, wow, like 11 episodes already gone. 11 weeks passed. Um, actually,
2 of them we missed because we was
true.
already we was immersed in like family
And traveling and
and
stuff.
traveling a little bit with that. So we
But
did
it's all
miss,
good.
some episodes in
And
between.
maybe we'll come on here for like those bonus episodes. Kind of like the
So
sound of
basically
that.
what's happening is, like, we said 11 episodes, but it possibly might be some bonus ones. Let's just go from
Well,
there. They may be like short and sweet, maybe not so much an hour or something. Or Coney may show up with a word or what have you.
I honestly forgot that we missed 2 weeks. So, so you bring up a thought. Oh wait, we didn't give y'all 11 seasons this time because we literally missed
Or
two
11
weeks.
episodes.
11
Yeah.
episodes.
We did
We did.
when you count the actual episodes.
It turned out to
It
be 11.
Yeah, this is actually the bonus to let
Oh,
people know
how did we do
what's
that?
good. How did we do that? We just good like that.
That's crazy. So we missed two
Yeah.
weeks and we still was able to like.
Yeah, we still maximize.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you can go if like, we can go
No,
on there
that's
right now and and
no.
look at it.
I believe you.
Mhm.
I just thought that was like because we missed 2 weeks. Like we didn't come on live, but it's all good. It's here.
Cuz basically this probably would have the basically it would have ended or began or what have you a
Hmm.
while back. Like, we wouldn't even have an episode today.
Oh, okay.
Had we had, went with exactly 11 episodes those 2 weeks that we missed. So we would have ended somewhere back in March.
Not bad. We decided to have hot tea on this episode since it is the season finale, and it just feels good to like, you know, come to the table with a cup of hot tea, sharing actual tea.
Mhm.
So let's get into it. First and foremost, y'all, I'm super excited because we are hosting our very first pop-up market on Sunday. And this has been like a desire for some time now. And the fact that it is here in real life, like I have vendors and I have people coming out it's just amazing because it's a vision, it's an idea, you know, it's a desire, and had I ever thrown a market before? No, I have not. However, I just started to move towards the vision, and people, places, things, opportunities have just been pouring in to my life like no other. And so I'm super grateful and excited for all of us because we're gonna have a good ass time. The theme is child's play. And so we are gonna channel our inner childlike spirits with some old school favorite games. We're gonna have a large Jenga, large Connect Four, Uno. We're gonna have a little spades going on. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna have raffles and giveaways. Some really amazing local creatives and vendors to support. We're gonna have food. Okay. Ah, food came through. Food came through. Food came through. Shout out to all of our beautiful vendors that are showing up for us and showing up for themselves. I'm excited because this is going to be such a great time. Yes. This is a networking social, y'all. So if you are in the area, if you have something to offer, a product or a service, you know what I mean? Or whatever, if you are a creative and you have something to offer, you need to be at this event. It's time for you to be seen. Okay. Come network, bring your business cards, you know, and connect and come and have a good time. It's totally free, no cost.
Absolutely.
We are raising money for our nonprofit Rubies, okay, which is an acronym for Resilient, Unbreakable, Beautiful, Intelligent, Empowered, and Successful, where we support our women and children in Sierra Leone, Africa.
Mhm.
And this nonprofit is really a tribute to my father's life, just as a thank you and I love you and I miss you because he did a lot of work in his home country and I want to extend that my way. And so it's my goal to raise $250 so that I can sponsor one girl, one young girl, okay, who I know personally through school because unfortunately in these other countries, it's crazy. They have to pay to go to school. There's no free education, which is so freaking wild amongst a whole bunch of other things, right? So
It's like ass
it's
backwards
ass
with the
backwards.
resources and stuff. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's really limited. And so, although I may not be able to change the economy, I know I can change or at least influence one life or one family, one family. And so that's the goal. It's my goal to raise $250 on Sunday for Rubies. Okay. All the
Mhm.
proceeds from my vendor fees, all the proceeds from the raffle tickets, all of it is going to our nonprofit. All of it,
Shout out.
and I'm really excited. I am finishing up and you know, adding all the details to Ruby's landing page so that you guys can actually read more information on that. And so I'm excited that's going to be launching pretty soon. And yeah, so Sunday, April 16th, 4 to 8 p.m. Come through. It's going to be a vibe. Shout out to my co-host, Jay like the letter. We are both bringing this energy and maybe a little catwalk, child. I don't know, because he's so full of it. I love it. But it's going to be such a great time. Yes.
Mhm. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready to get into the conversation?
Yeah. Like, yeah,
Okay.
let's go. I pulled up on your phone just kinda
Uh-huh.
like because I knew we were gonna do like a recap
Yeah.
of kind of like
Oh, I like that.
our episodes, like the titles and what
Mhm.
we were going through at that moment. So our very first episode on season 4 was I Want a Divorce. That one was a doozy.
Shout.
It was a doozy.
A couple of these episodes was a doozy. You took
Yeah.
us through. You gave us the tea for real, which is so authentic. I like so appreciate the rawness in that, and the vulnerability in those conversations from you, and in you being in the midst of the energy as you were expressing yourself.
Yeah, it was quite like it's this season was way different than any other season. Even like
Yeah.
starting out with like our season 1 and season 2, that was just
Mhm.
again I always like to say we was like let's go ahead and do a podcast.
Uh-huh.
We started out with I believe our iPhone 6s
Girl,
and
really?
yeah,
Wow, no
yeah.
equipment, iPhone 6s,
No equipment, no real, you know,
no production.
production. It was just all
God,
audio.
man, those are so fun.
And, that time, like, our alter egos were there, which we like to call out. Like, out Tiffany was
Shout
there
out
at
to
that
Tiff.
time
Shout out to
for
Connie.
Tiff, and Connie was in the building. But those were like super fun. I think that was just our way of like just really getting into like the metaphysics and really
Yeah.
just understanding that and being in just that space of really like getting to know each other
Yes.
um
Which was so blissful.
and yeah, and then we just kept it moving and we stopped at 11 episodes and it's been the same ever since. Season 2 was
Mhm.
elevated a little bit more. We had like special
Yeah.
guests on
A
there.
little
Like
bit
I
more
really
structure.
enjoyed season 2. I'm
Me
not even going to
too. Me
lie.
too. I did
Um
too. It was lit.
we had like 3 episodes with like guests on them and it was
Mhm.
really good. Topics were really awesome.
Yeah.
Um, everybody's still kind of working through vulnerability. Season 3 was the up level
Oh
indeed.
my gosh. Shout
And
out to
just
Proud
going
Plug
through,
Radio. Shout out to
yeah,
Chandra and Jam. We love you guys.
yeah, facts of life. So that was like a
Yes.
real like, yay, like we're
An
in the
upgrade.
building. So,
Okay.
and we also had some great interviews on that show as
Yes.
well.
Oh my gosh, so much
We brought
fun.
the heat there too, which was really cool. And that's when I believe was the beginning of my breakout just by being comfortable and being in front. It was like towards the end, being in front of a live camera. And because
Really?
most of the
You have a
conversation,
poker face.
because most of the time, like if how you guys notice, if you want to go back and watch season 3, so how you all would notice that, I wasn't uncomfortable is because Coney was doing most of the talking. That's how you know. There was some episodes that I was jiggy with it, but there was some that I was just kind of like, oh my god, like I have no idea what I'm gonna say. Like, and a lot of it was too like implementing some of the containers that Coney had going on as well. And that was, I would say that season 3 was Coney's time. And then
Really?
season 4 was, like, my time because it was just, like,
You brought a lot of
literally I
personality.
brought a lot of the a lot of the drama, which is,
Girl, I was gonna say chaos, but drama works.
like, a lot of the
Drama
drama because people love
works.
drama. So and that's facts. So I brought a lot of the drama this time, but this is, like, the one of my, I could say, most vulnerable times. I was vulnerable season 3.
You was very vulnerable.
This season though, it was just
You got to the nitty-gritty.
actually like
Yeah, darkness.
yeah, it was like pushing through,
I'm
moving
choosing
through and
darkness.
still going through um like these spaces. Um but yeah, like choosing darkness, you tomatoes, if that's how you feel, your world is correct. In my world it's just it ends up just being like the internal battle of moving through depression, moving through anxiety because it is a real
Mhm.
thing and our Mac has got a low battery on it already
Girl,
because I thought it
you
was
know
charged.
what? Mm-mm. This ain't right.
So what I'm gonna do is exit left and go grab the charger.
Y'all, I promise. Every single time shenanigans happens. And it wouldn't be right. It like wouldn't be right if shenanigans didn't exist. But to contribute to what Jade is speaking about in terms of depression and anxiety, it is a very real thing, and when you're not aware of the space you're in, you're just in it, but thank thank God that we have put ourselves in position to be, you know, healers and to also be healing. Okay. So like everything that we offer to our community, we offer to ourselves first. So we do the work um constantly every single day. And for that I am grateful because y'all it's hard. Honestly. Like it is a challenge to stay harmonized and to be in a right state of mind with everything that's going on in the world. And so, yeah, depression and anxiety is a real ass thing. And, shout out to everybody that are moving through these spaces. I myself have experience with depression and anxiety. I know exactly what it's like now that I have a more clear understanding of what it is. And, shout out to everybody that's moving through those spaces and, doing the best that you all can to stay alive, you know, and to push forward and to move through. So yeah. No, you good. You good. Uh-oh. You wanna towel?
No, I don't. I just don't know what that. I have to like scrub the chair.
Oh, okay.
I don't need one. No.
I don't know. It's all good though. Yeah, um so so not choosing darkness, but like navigating darkness, I think is a great concept or theory if you want to get into it. Are you settled?
Huh?
Are you settling? Are you settled? Are you
Yeah,
ready
like
to talk?
I'm getting settled now. So I had to get
Okay.
my tea and
You
like
you
so
comfy
when I get
child.
like interrupted, I'm like, oh hell. So like I have to come back to my train of thought or
Like what
whatever.
was it?
Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, so we're talking about depression and anxiety. Yeah, so
Mhm.
yeah, like it's not a choice, just like it wasn't a choice for me to like be in this body and be a what people would call like live an alternative lifestyle or choose to like women. Like that wasn't to me like a choice. Had I
Mhm.
known back when I was making these decisions before I come through, like I would have been like, nah, don't count me in. Like that's not what I want to do. I'm not trying to live this type of life. But um yeah, just navigating through those moments. Like some folks will get it. Folks who like have been through the same thing that anybody born in the 80s going through the 90s or even the 70s going through the 90s, 80s and 90s and dealing with this type of situation where you're dealing with you know like living in the Bible Belt and religion and all that other stuff. But
Mhm.
um that's besides the point. So yeah, that first episode in season 4 was I Want a Divorce, and that was like really just moving through yet again um my bouts of anxiety and depression in regards to some unresolved issues that are that lie beneath
Yeah.
and that still kind of is there because everything that I have been faced with um I feel like I have been able to see it tangibly and
Mhm.
then be able to um face it and transmute it.
Yeah.
But then there's that core. It's like a core. I was talking to a dear friend today, and this is how I described it.
Mhm.
It's just like that one thing, or could be a conglomerate of things, but like there's that one thing. You know how snowballs create? It's just this little ball,
Mhm.
and if it's not taken care of, if it's not eradicated right when it has taken place, then it begins to roll and more, and it gets bigger and it gets bigger and it gets bigger and until you're at an adult age and it's still there. You might have chipped away as much as you possibly can, but
Mhm.
there's just something in the core. So yeah, that I Want a Divorce episode was really heavy because it's me wanting to run. It was me wanting to escape, but not out of spite of like not wanting to love you and not wanting to be
Mhm.
in a relationship with you. It was truly when I say it's me, it is. It's not like trying to get out of it. It's me escaping the situation and wanting to just figure it out by myself, but then
Right.
also coming to the terms that I don't have to do it alone. I don't have to do it by myself either.
Yeah.
So that episode
Yeah, it was good.
was really good because we be moving through a lot of stuff.
Right.
For real. So yeah, we hit some
Yeah. So
hit,
that
yeah.
episode was I Want a Divorce and how to overcome self-sabotage in healthy relationships
Yeah.
because trust and
That's true.
believe it, even in a healthy we have the healthiest of relationships that I both of us have ever had in our history of
True.
relationships. Like, I mean, for real, like this is the most healthy, most harmonized, most loving, you know, relationship I've ever been in, and it's just magnificent. And even in those relationships, in those spaces, sabotage still exists. Depression, anxiety still exists. All lower vibrations still exist. Like all the challenges, problems, they all still exist. You know what I mean? Like we're all on a journey towards
Facts.
liberation and healing. So shout out to that episode. It was really, really good.
Yeah. Go check it out if you hadn't. It's a great one.
Yeah, y'all go check it out. Like if you haven't seen any of the like y'all don't want to know the thing?
Yeah, you
'Cause
have to know the tea.
I
Like,
mean, y'all be asking questions like we be hearing from the grapevine that questions are being asked. We give a lot of information in these episodes and if you have any inquiries, go and watch it. Like go
facts.
show up and support and like and subscribe and okay. So the next YouTube is so much fun when you are not attached to anything. Like it's just it's fun. I can't even lie. All right. So the next episode was you're dysregulated AF. And the first step towards regulating your nervous system. Um y'all, dysregulation, if you're not familiar with the term, it really means what it sounds like. Like you're discombobulated, like you are uneasy, you are triggered, okay, you are thrown off your game, you are distracted. That is what dysregulation is when there's an imbalance in your nervous system. You're not taking deep breaths, you're breathing shallow breaths. You are not clear mentally, you are reactive, you are, emotionally, unstable, all the things, right? Like you're dysregulated AF. Um, so that
Shout
was a
out
really
to like Ray,
I was
Black Girl
gonna
Ray
say
Lips.
that. Just
Yeah.
say that, yes. Shout out to the sis,
Yeah. That was a great
Rachel.
episode. That was a fun
It was so
episode.
much fun.
The equipment, like that
Girl,
was wild,
the damn
crazy, mad
shenanigans. But
crazy.
you
I'm
know what?
like,
She had the
oh man.
vibes. She had the aesthetic. She had
Yeah.
everything. And right before the show, she really was like, I told her what the title was gonna be or what we was gonna be talking about. And she really was like, oh, well, I'm not sure how much I can add, but all right. And sis literally took the mic. She was ready. She was looking all beautiful and stuff. And she gave us words. She gave us
She gave us
nuggets.
some tea,
She
yo.
gave us tea. She gave
Yeah.
us tools and techniques. Like she gave so much.
A
Like
natural. That's how
just natural.
self-sabotage be coming through. She was
Girl.
disrated, regulated AF.
Yo, sabotage really be making you feel
Yeah.
like you not that girl. And the truth is, it's like you really little baby. Like you that girl. Like honestly.
It's like as
Sabotage,
soon
sit
as like you
down.
get comfy, it's like, oh, I could do this. It's like talking to
Yeah.
your besties. I'm like, yes, that's all it
That's
is.
all it is,
Yeah.
y'all. And I promise, vulnerability is the key. That's the secret. I'm telling you. If you really want to be liberated, you really want to. This is why you want to do the work, right? And what is doing the work? It's more than watching YouTubes and personal development. It's more than reading books. It's more than, you know, joining a mastermind. Doing the work is actually implementing the practices and the tools that you learn from the things you're ingesting. That is doing the work. You know what I mean? And the reason why you want to do the work is so that you can express your true authentic self so that you can maximize your potential. We
Facts.
all have the desire of how we want to express, I feel, you know? And if you don't know what that is, you just haven't imagined it yet. You just haven't visioned on it yet because you're probably focused on the problem. You're probably focused on the symptoms of depression and anxiety, like I was, right? Like you can't hold space in depression and anxiety and, true authentic expression and liberation. You can't do both at the same time, you know? It's one or the other.
Really?
Yeah, really.
But doesn't
In
that
my
get
from my
but that
experience.
but
I
doesn't
can't
that
speak for
get you
everybody.
there?
Huh?
Doesn't that get you to your place?
What?
The
Doesn't what get you?
depression and
Oh, it does.
yeah.
They both play a very important every single part of your life plays a very substantial part. But what I'm saying is you can't take up space in both places at once simultaneously.
I feel like we
You
do.
can well, maybe we can.
The only reason
Elaborate
why
on that. Share
like
some
the
tea on
only
that.
reason why I say that is because you know I'm using you as an example, right?
Okay. Put me on a
So
hot seat then.
so it's like you could be moving through those spaces
Mhm.
and you have this thing where it like even though you feel that things aren't getting done 100% the way you want them to be or need to be, there's still so much action that's going on, like the
Mhm.
push through. Like you're still moving through your spaces as like the higher self would, even if you're
Wow.
going through those rough spaces.
And see during that time I was not aware of that. Sabotage didn't make me feel like that, you
Right.
know? So, but
It's
okay.
kinda like moving on. It's like autopilot with the thoughts, but in action, it's like
Well, it's unconscious competency, right? Like when you don't have to think about doing the thing, you do the thing. So yes, that's absolutely correct. Um, the perspective that I was coming from with the you can't take up space in both places simultaneously is like, you know, when I'm in sabotage or if I'm in my thoughts, right? Like of, just low vibrational thoughts, I'm not in higher vibrational thoughts at the same time is what I mean. You know what I mean? Like if I'm in lower vibrational thoughts, that's where I am. I'm not there's no high vibrational thoughts going on for me simultaneously. It's literally just me and sabotage, you know? So that's the perspective that I was coming from. But absolutely facts on being able like every part of your journey counts. Like the part of me, and this is what came up in the session with Tracy when we were just talking and stuff like that, and I was just giving her a little update.
Coach Tracy.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Tracy. She's my speaking coach. Um, what she helped me to realize is that the part of myself that felt like she didn't have any choices was the part supports the part of myself that made the choice. So both parts of self play a role, in the vision. Both play a role in the liberation. Both play a role in the healing. I actually wrote it down in my notes. Let me see if I can give it to y'all a little better because I definitely I wrote it down because I was like, "Oh my god, this is so." Yeah, the part of you that doesn't feel like she had a choice birthed the part of you that made the choice. There you go. Whew. Yeah, because in my most darkest of moments, where I literally felt like I didn't have a choice, like I felt like I didn't have anything else to give. I didn't have anything else that I could do. Like I literally am only able to see like worthlessness. I'm not able to even identify my value, right? But in that moment, I still made a choice. I still made a choice to continue my journey, that to not, wallow in my pity, And so, yeah, this revelation was so true, and I wrote it in my notes because I'm like, ah, yes, yes, I accept and I receive that. And the part of me that felt like, she didn't have a choice, she still gets to be loved. She still is worthy. She still, gets to be acknowledged, and she still gets to, enjoy the fruits of our labor. And so, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so that was that episode. Did you have any more words
For that episode in
for
particular?
or just, for the dialogue that's taking place?
No, actually, no. Like,
Okay.
I did not.
All right. So the next episode we did was check yourself before you wreck yourself, okay? How to reframe. Let me see with it. How to reframe your behaviors. Yeah, that was a really good one too.
Was that
Um
episode where was that episode at?
we have to look.
Let me see it.
I don't want to. Hold on.
Oh, that was a really good one too. Yeah, I was in the okay, we were on the other side.
Yeah, we was both dressed, honey. We was
Yeah,
looking
so you look
good.
good on that
Looking
episode.
good. So yeah, check yourself before you wreck yourself, how to reframe your behaviors. Yeah, like a lot of us have a lot of awareness, you know what I mean? A lot of us are full of knowledge and full of wisdom and full of expertise and experience. Like we've been on this journey. We didn't just start this journey yesterday, right? Like we've been on this journey enough to know um, you know, when we need to like come back to self and reevaluate our responses and our reactions to things. Um, and so that was a really, really, really good episode. And how to reframe your behaviors. We shared our framework, which we love to share all the time. This is the framework that we live by at this point, the AAOC, which are the 4 pillars of alchemy. So when it comes to reframing your behaviors, you want to first become aware, right, of yourself in time and space. You want to become aware of the behavior itself. And then you want to acknowledge your contribution, right? So what is the behavior? Like, you know, what's the actual behavior? How are you contributing? How are you expressing yourself? Do you have a tone, or, are you snappy, or, just it's a variety of things. Well, how are you contributing in within that behavior? And then you want to observe yourself. You want to observe all surrounding factors without judgment. Just
Mhm.
state all the facts, you know what I mean? Like, if you were in a conversation with someone, and you popped off left field for no reason, and the other person responded because their feelings was hurt, observe all of that. It's okay. Like, just state all the facts because you could have really been moving through something. There's a trigger there. There's something that needs to be worked out, right? Like,
Mhm.
so observe everything, and then you wanna make a choice. You wanna be able to choose a behavior that is in alignment with your higher self or in alignment with the desired outcome, right? So if it's patience, right? If it's just being more observative or, listening more actively, like if that's the choice, then you want to be able to implement that choice. And it has to be practical. It has to be something that is tangible and realistic, something that you can implement right away. And boom, there you are. That's how you start to begin to reframe your behaviors amongst a ton of other ways.
And in that and while you were saying that, like, I wanted to bring up just a little bit about, Kimura's, breakdown that she had, and
Uh-huh.
it's all regards to the, like, the framework that we use, and we also, practice it with, Kimura too.
Absolutely.
We were, um there was a play date happening going on,
Oh my God. So good.
um
So good.
we were coming over to, pick her up
To
and
impart
everything.
a little bit,
Yes, so let her hang out and play, so she had a great, little weekend with her friends.
Mhm.
It's normally her and her bestie, but the bestie, it was like 3 girls together basically at this point in
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
So as the adults are having their time and,
And we having a time, child. Kikiing.
kikiing, like, visioning and doing
Having
our
a
thing,
ball.
there's a knock at the door, and it's just kinda like, "Okay, what's going on?" And then, like,
Right.
"Can I just need to speak to my mom," and I was just like, "Oh, here we go."
Right in the middle.
So, the adult leaves the room, and it's just us 2 in the room, and, Kimura's coming up, and I'm saying this because adults, you we if we look at how our children behave, we can see those behaviors also being reenacted in us as adults,
Mhm.
seriously.
Mhm.
Um, so she's explaining to Coney at this point in time, just kind of like in her language, in what she knows, um, about what's going on with her at this point in time.
Right.
I want you to take over that part, and then I'll interject with what I had. Remember? Do you
Okay.
remember? So I'm at
Yes.
at the part where she's talking to you.
Yes. Yes, I remember. So she
Yeah,
comes in, she's already very,
dysregulated.
very dysregulated. You took the words right out of
Since we was on a
She was
dysregulated,
heavily
we was like, we
dysregulated, okay?
tired.
I mean, attitude, she's crying out of nowhere. And I'm like, you had a play date with both your girl. I mean, one is the bestie, but the other one she loves, she's very fond of, like very
Absolutely.
fond of, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mhm.
And she comes in and she's very dysregulated and she just starts to tell a story, right? But the point in which she starts to tell the story was kind of like in the middle. She didn't start at the beginning. She kind of just started at like, I want to go home at 12. I don't feel good. She's like making up excuses as to why she
Like,
wants to
yeah,
leave,
the
right? Like
cat, the
placing the cat, like she's placing
allergies.
blame
We were
externally
just
on
kinda
other
like,
things, right? Like, girl, you here all the
"Huh?"
time. This can't be the reason because you are here. Oh, you be asking to come back like every time you
All the
leave.
time.
So this cannot be the reasons, right?
No.
So she continues to tell, certain parts of the story, right? Not making any sense at all. I'm literally trying to piece the puzzle together. She is the kid whisperer. She be like, "Do do 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 do." Boom, got it. Me, I'm like, I'm questioning and I'm
Which is
immersed in
great
talk
because it's
therapy, and I'm
helping
like,
me.
I
It's helping
can't
me.
follow. I'm not following. I'm not following. I'm not doing. I can't. What's going on here? And so I just asked her. I was like, you know what? Let's pause. Let's pause the story. What did you
What was
do?
your
Let's start
contribution?
with you, right? Like, what did you do before the outcome? Like, what happened on your part? Let's start with you
So,
first.
awareness and acknowledgement is going on simultaneously at the same time.
Yeah. So we're bringing awareness back to her, right?
Mhm.
Because, you know, we contribute to the stories we tell. We oftentimes miss our own hand because of, ego and things like that and sabotage. But however,
Because
we contribute a very large part
when you
of
start
the
the story
story.
blaming.
and it's not to say that some stories you are not the victim, because you are. You
Facts.
do be the victim a lot of times. All I'm saying is that when you can look where you contributed, you have more power. You know what I mean? Like you have way more power when you look to where you contributed. You have more power and you have the ability to make a change from where you stand and where you contribute, right? So anyway, so I'm asking her to start where she starts, right? Of course, there's a little apprehension, and she continues to again tell the story, but from a place of like victimhood, like it's my fault, like it's not it's my fault, but a place of like being the victim, like something happened to
To
me.
me, and I
And
didn't do anything.
yeah, and I didn't do anything, but the pieces that she's giving, Jade is like, "Oh, I got it." I still didn't get it. I was like, I'm doing the best I can. I don't know what to do. And then this is where you came in.
So basically, like the puzzle of the story was like it involved the other little girl having to go home at 12 o'clock, mind you.
But what did you say? What was the aha? It was like, "Oh, this is what happened."
Well, I was getting them the context
Okay,
because
okay.
they don't know that part. We didn't integrate that part. But so basically what had happened, like she was telling the story of like one um information about like she was supposed to be going home at 12, right?
The other little
Because
girl.
they were playing in the closet and the closet's tiny and all of these little innuendos and the girl leaned against her and almost, you know, knocked the door down or something like that, right? All these little things and it's
So
just like and we're
crazy.
trying to make her aware of like what is it that she did. So finally the
Right.
aha moment was like, oh, okay, like, oh, I see where this is going. So I raised my hand because, it still is a respectful
Gotta be warranted.
conversation in place and space. And of course, I raised my hand. Kimmy always kind of like looked over her glasses and kind of put her head down because she already knew where I was going with it. And I asked permission to speak, and she gave me the permission to speak. And then I just was like, okay, so basically, the moral of the story is this: you want to play with said friend by yourself
Mm,
and you basically wanted the other girl to go home so that you guys can have your time together and that the closet is not crowded or what have you.
right.
Something along the lines of that.
Mhm.
And I was like, correct me if I'm wrong, please, because like this is what I'm getting from the story. And
It
it
was
was
so many
facts.
pieces to the puzzle, y'all.
And she was just like, that's it. So she just
Yeah.
needed to know basically the other little girl snapped a little bit, got a little tone because Kimmy had a tone
First. Yeah.
first and was like, well, basically like, you going home at 12 anyway type of situation. And the little girl was, snapped back, was like, kind of like, no, like I'm not going home at 12 kind of like situation. And that kind of hurt
They
Kimmy's
hurt each
feelings.
other's
They hurt each
feelings.
other's feelings. But
Yeah. Can you
first of all, you
yeah.
overstepped your
What she
boundaries,
overstepped boundaries for
right?
sure.
And one, you overstepped. Two, that conversation that you heard her leaving at 12 had nothing to do with you
Nothing. You overheard that.
because that was an over yeah. You overheard another adult talking probably on the phone about the
Right,
situation and you
right.
inserted yourself in a place where you shouldn't have been.
Child.
And
Period.
so during that whole time we're consoling, we're, telling her what to do. We're lifting her back up, getting her spirits back up. And then the girls slip a note under the door,
Are
and
you okay? It was
yeah, "Are you
so cute.
okay?" And of
So
course,
cute.
she's still in the resistance mode. Okay, we as adults do this too, like as
Mhm.
far
Not
as
wanna let go.
resisting and not wanting to let go. And I'm embracing her, holding her back, feeling where the
Mhm.
tension is, winding up in her back, where she holds this,
Yeah.
holds on to these things and doesn't want to let it go. Just kept patting her in the back and soothing her. But it's just the same. You saw, she had every chance and opportunity to
Mhm.
give herself to go ahead and get the note, get back in a good
Mhm.
space, and then take that information that she had gotten from us and go, whether it's to back in the room and play or even apologize. And I'm pretty sure the girls would have been all like, that's okay.
They were already
And
moved
ready,
past
they
it.
were past that. She was just the one still holding
Still
on.
holding on. Yeah. Imma put a pin. Can I insert real quick?
That's it.
So no, it's not. It's a little bit more. So basically, the energy that she was holding that we could feel were the emotions of jealousy, which already had came up previously because
Facts.
at the the week with family and everything, that
Facts.
emotion came up out of her mouth,
Yeah.
and which is an emotion, a trapped emotion that our bodies store and hold on to. Right? It's either it's either absorbed from those around you, created from within, or passed down generationally. And so the trapped emotion of jealousy was very vivid. And then the trapped emotion of anger, okay, which is probably the core root emotion. And then from that stems jealousy, right? Something like that. And so she threw she threw that energy out. Like when you
Pow.
whatever energy you give,
Yo, that
right?
shit's
In this
coming
world,
back,
it's
yo.
gonna come back to you. Whatever you give, you're gonna attract it right back to you. And yo, instantaneously, she threw that energy out without
The little
realizing
girl.
that what she was doing, and it came right
Snap
back.
back.
And I'm like, the way that you're feeling right now is probably the way that you made the other little girl feel.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And you just gotta you gotta sit with it because it hit you back so fast, you know? And so like Jade said, like after we have this talk therapy, right? And we take her through the framework of the AAOC in her language. So we brought the awareness to her of like her contribution, what actually happened,
Yep, her
right?
hand.
Without
Yeah.
judgment.
Yeah.
It's okay to have these
It
feelings,
is.
right? It's okay to have these feelings. And it's okay to express yourself, but you also have options, right? Like you also can process it and release it and
That
reframe it if
part.
you want to.
That
So we
part.
brought the awareness. We helped her acknowledge her behavior, right? So the awareness is okay, you're holding on to low vibrational energy of jealousy and anger, right? And this is how we know how, by words and the things that took place in the story that she told. Now the action, right? The acknowledgement was what she said, which was crossing a boundary, and how they were playing, action. And then the observation was the explanation of, giving and receiving energy. Like we talk about this all the time.
All the
So she's
time.
aware of it. She knows the
Yeah.
concept like the back of her hand.
Facts.
And so the observation was, okay, well, this is what happened. This is how it played out, and it's okay to have these feelings. It's okay to have this expression, but you have options, right? Like you can release this, you can go and have more playtime and all the things. And then the choice, which was the last part, was, you know, the solutions that we all came up with together in the room for her to go and reframe her thoughts and behaviors so that she
Absolutely.
can continue to have a good time. And
Absolutely.
the solutions came like we presented them to her, which was you can take some deep breaths.
Yep.
You can go outside, plant your feet in the grass.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You can get this energy
Like, you
out of
know
your
these
body
things. Yeah.
and you can go and talk to your friends and maybe send and say, I'm sorry. You
Facts.
know what I mean? And let them know that you were just processing emotions or you were just talking to your moms about your emotions and it's all good. So we gave her the solutions. We're hugging, we're loving on her and everything like that.
She
And then
grabs the note.
the little note comes
Yep.
right after the solutions. It was such a beautiful like exchange. It was such a
So she can
beautiful moment.
tangibly see it
So she could see it
as
and it
she's
came.
changing or evolving her
And
attitude.
as we were working through the emotions and releasing and things like that, the note came through. Are you okay? And that just showed that your girls are waiting for you. They love you. They
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 wanna
want to they
play.
want to play.
They
They're not
passed it.
they're not holding on to it. You're the only person
Yep.
holding on to it.
'Cause
Even though
you
you were
did it.
wrong. Even though you were in the wrong cuz you
That's
tried
the
it.
thing,
You
like, it's
tried it.
hard when you know you are the cause of it, it's hard for
Mhm.
you to be like,
It's hard for you to acknowledge it.
"Shit." Yeah.
Exactly. So we gave her the encouragement because we was like, we told her, we're not leaving right now just
Nope.
because you
We
want to
still
leave. We
chilling.
still chilling, first of all. Okay. We here with this. So you're not finna just end our time. No, we wanna be here. So we're not leaving. So you have options. You can go out there, you can go in their room and you can make things right, or not, your choice. And so we excused her and we didn't know what happened. We never even left the room, child.
Mm-mm.
We was like, it's in God's hands. It's the point. It's above us now. We going back to playtime.
Facts.
And so that's exactly what happened. And then when it was time to leave, we noticed that she was sitting at the table by herself and the other girls were in the room. And then
I asked, her bestie, I was like, "What did she ever come to the room, or anything?" And she's like, "No." So I was just
so she
like,
didn't.
"Bruh,
And she was still in the motion. She refused to let go.
stank."
She didn't take any of the resources
None
offered,
of
and she
it.
did not make the
None.
choice, right? So we
She
took her
didn't.
through the whole framework. She didn't make the choice. Now
Right.
let me tell y'all what happened. This is crazy. So while we're there, we see the energy. We see it. We feel it. It stank.
It's
It's like,
like,
"Ooh, damn, you didn't."
like, I'm not
Now
yeah,
we
I'm
gotta
not
go
dealing
home with
with this
this.
with this,
Now we
yo.
gotta go
I'm
home
not
with
dealing
this.
with
This
this.
crazy. So she forgets all her things, right? And I
Everything.
tell her, I'm like, "Yo, make sure you grab your things. Make sure make sure you got everything because we're leaving." She doesn't do it. So she left everything. Jade had to go the next day to pick it up, right? Inconvenience. And then, we get home and she is just in a low vibrational mood. She's exhausted for like 2 days. When I say low vibrational energy, it's
Girl,
very
she didn't let
dense.
that go for a couple of
It was a
days.
couple days, and she was exhausted, like, heavily fatigued, stank mood, just she wasn't eating her food, she was wasting food, she was just, like, making low vibrational ass choices. I was just like, "This, you really reaching right now. You reaching." And then
'Cause
guess what
it's
happens?
dense. It's so much. It's so
So
heavy.
dense. So she finally, after a couple of days, decides she's ready to let it go, right? She lets it go, and we have a very courageous conversation. She understands what happened. She understands what she did, and all the things. Right? She's back to herself. She can think clearly now. She's able to get. She's well rested. She's happy. She's in a grateful mood and attitude. But then her throat starts to hurt. She gets so like because now she's choosing to let it go, right? She didn't let it go when she had the opportunity to do so, and she chooses to hold on, let it marinate, and then she chooses to let it go. But sometimes when we let go of energy and we release it, it does come out as like physical things in the body. Like you'll get a sore throat, or you'll have a stuffy nose, or you'll have like cold like symptoms.
It's
You know
the
what I mean?
healing
It's the healing
process.
process. You're not actually sick. It's just the body
You gotta
releasing and
release that shit.
transmuting the energy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Energy doesn't
Gotta
die.
get
And
out.
her throat, the throat chakra, because she refused to use it when she could have, her adrenal glands was like, they weren't swollen, but they felt like they were to her. You know how you get that when you about to get a cold, or your throat just start acting crazy and it's
That's
sore?
exactly what it was.
That's exactly what she went through for days. And it must have been painful because she was like, it was just
And trust, she was fine. No sign of
perfectly
an
fine.
allergy, no
No
sign of
allergies, no respiratory things
no
going on,
nothing. It was
nothing.
literally
Literally the release of the energy.
wow.
Yeah,
Throat
throat
hurt,
chakra.
congested,
Yep. Yep.
chest,
It lasted
achy. And I'm
for a couple
like,
of days.
that
Just a couple of
astonished me
days.
just to be like, it was longer than that. Cause she was in and out.
It was about a week.
She was in and out of this mood. She came out of it and it was kind of like it was like the dance. That's kind of how it is, like coming
Yeah.
out of it and just in the dance of
Mhm.
it, back and forth. And she didn't have to take her to school, so she'd be in the back, and then the people would come to the car to see, they come to the
She
car to
was
take you
staying
out the back
and
seat,
they
child.
greet every kid every morning. "Good
And
morning,
she
Kafara."
backpack
What?
on outside. I'm just like, ooh,
What? Did you
child.
excuse her?
Hell no. Like,
Girl, that is so
no. Like,
rude.
so just watching her, like, it
Oh
was
my
just,
gosh.
she's not, it's so crazy because, like, the things that we go through truly are and can be, and I am a firm believer of it. Like,
Mhm.
birth is like some things when you're in an environment that doesn't promote certain things, and then you
Yeah.
see that your child is actually
Choosing
moving it,
not
or
choosing, but
like
yeah,
moving in, or just in a
in it.
direction that just makes no sense because you're not cultivated in it. It has to bring up a little bit of question marks in
Yeah.
the head, and that just means now
Yes.
it's like, okay, this has definitely got to be some type of generational
It's
stuff,
definitely
or
that.
some type of just
It's more to it.
unresolved things that
Mhm.
the child is carrying, that
They were born with, born
she's the
into.
light bearer to make the choice to evolve or change
Yes.
whatever was happening during her conception. So it was like, wow. But
Yeah.
she's definitely pretty strong at the end of the day. But the
Y'all,
other is just right neck and neck with it though. The other side, which is the side that we want to bury, but we're wanting her to cultivate both of it, just knowing like, yo, it's all right to feel this way, but then you got to make a choice to get out of it.
if you
Don't
want
stay
to.
there too long.
Right.
It's like you can have an easily life or you can have a difficult life.
She wanna have the hard
And
way.
so I just be like, if you want the hard way, which is the way you choosing to go, then you gonna get the hard lessons. You gonna get the hard tones. you gonna get the hard, hard knocks, and
Mhm.
you gonna get everything hard just because
Yeah.
you're making those choices and decisions. So
Yeah, so
yeah, man, it's
that was
just
that story, which was
yeah. So that followed up with like the
profound. That was
dysregulation
so
and
perfect. Wow.
and everything else because yeah, your children do can tell you some stories about yourself too.
I'm
So
telling you.
you be like, whoa.
Like, sis, oof.
Hmm.
Okay, so, y'all, that was only, like, the 2nd episode.
Because they still be deep.
No, so that was okay, so we touched on, check yourself before you wreck
Yep.
yourself. The next one
This is the
is
third, so the fourth. We
yeah,
should be on
one,
the
two,
fourth
three.
episode.
Yeah, so okay, the 4th one.
Yeah.
So the 4th episode was reframing unworthiness, and how to acknowledge your worth,
It's a lot of
which
reframing here.
a lot of reframe.
There's a lot of reframing in the book. I think
That's the
every
whole
title
MO.
was like reframe, reframe, reframe.
That's the whole objective I feel for us because that's what we're doing right now. We're reframing thoughts and behaviors actively currently, so it makes sense. So yeah, reframing your unworthiness and how to acknowledge your worthiness. And really quickly in that episode, you helped us to discover our worthiness through our creations.
Mhm.
Right? Like we can identify our worth in the things that we create and put out. Even if you're not sharing it with the world, if you've at least just put it out and it's just with you, you could look at that and you could admire it and you can see your worth in that. Um, because oftentimes the things we create, we create it for a reason, like we deep down know inside like this is worth something.
Facts.
And any creation that we put out there, y'all, it's not just ours. It's not just ours. First of all, you are co-creating with the most high. That's one. Number 2, you are co-creating with the Most High, not just for you, but for those in the world. That there's somebody else desiring the thing that you're creating for the impact in their lives is the only reason why you even have that pull. You know what I mean? And then you co-create with the Most High, and boom, the creation is here, and then the impact has the capacity to be made. You know what I mean? Um, so that was that episode, and then we have dissociation, life after that space of being dissociated, which is another awesome episode. And that was more so about my processes and my dissociation. And during the time where I was dissociated, I discovered that that was actually a mechanism that I used to help prepare me for when the grief, when I was ready to experience the grief, when I was ready to actually let go of all the pain and confusion and anger that I'd been holding on to and suppressing from Papa's death. And and y'all, when I released it, it took me out for a week.
It
Like
did.
it took me out for a week. I was done. I was done. I my cycle was so incredibly heavy. I lost a lot of blood that week, which was crazy. My lips was turning purple. I couldn't sleep. I was restless. I didn't get no sleep that week. I was heavily congested. I couldn't breathe through both of my nostrils. I couldn't eat. I had a migraine for the entire week. I've never experienced these symptoms before, but after going through the hypnosis session and for the first time actually becoming aware that I was even one dissociated and that I was in a depression, and then making the choice to actually open myself up to release it so that I can heal
Yeah.
and move forward. I didn't know what to expect, y'all. But my period of dissociation prepared me for that time. And that was the most beautiful revelation that I received because it helped me remove the judgment of self, and it helped me develop more compassion for myself because it's okay. Dissociation can also be utilized as a tool to help you create new neurological pathways, to help you discover new ways of regulating your nervous system so that when those extra dense times come through, you're able to manage it and you're able to move through it with a little bit more grace. So I'm totally grateful for that period because God knows if I hadn't done that, I don't even know. I don't even know because that week took me. I just it
I would
just took
just
me out.
say like how incredibly strong we are as human beings because that was even like a year or year after you holding on to the
It was like a year
the
and a half.
fact that you didn't want to accept it. So
I
accept
didn't
Papa
want
says
to
so you
accept.
didn't want to accept it.
I didn't.
So but again, just kind of doing work as you was moving through your processes,
Mhm.
that things were still happening and going through. Um, when I mean like you were still navigating through it, like
Right.
still going through it, even though that the detachment of like the reality of him being gone was there. It's like, nah, he's not. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
like, I refuse to pray, I refuse to be at my altar, I refuse to acknowledge spirit. I acted like, I was fine, like, "Oh, I'm okay." I didn't even, like I'm just, "No, it's fine, he in a better place, like, I'm good, like, I'm good." It was just really suppressing a lot of, emotions, and dissociation is, it's silencing a part of yourself or a part of the brain. The negativity is putting it on pause, is like bypassing it, and in that space I was doing, what really supported me was implementing our tools and practices and being the position that we are, serving our clients the way that we do, and just being surrounded by the beautiful people in our circle of influence, right? So, although I was dissociated and I was really tripping, like I had mood swings. I mean, you could better explain that than I can, but I was moving through mood swings and I was, doing insane things that I wasn't keeping my word on. I was literally forgetting, and I put myself in a couple of pickles, and by grace got out of it. However, in that space of dissociation, I was still surrounded by so much, so much support and love and resources, and I was aware and unconsciously competent enough to still put in those practices, still put in that work while I was ignoring, you know, the transition of my father and ignoring the anger and all these things that would go on. I was ignoring my stepmom, I was ignoring family. I was really on some other type of time, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I was just saying how the body it's incredibly smart and strong. Like think of like a year and a half of suppression, and then when she decided to let it go, it was weeks worth of like not knowing what the hell was going on with her at all. It was just like again like symptoms of like concern, really, because she
You was
doesn't go
concerned.
through.
Right.
She doesn't get sick at
I
the end of the
don't.
day, meaning her body doesn't go through a lot of healing um transitions because she's already like moving through a lot of spaces and doing the work like there it's not like things are stored in her, like she moves past it very quickly, so that's her superpower. So nothing really gets lodged in the system to where she holds on to it for such a long period of time to where it needs to come up and out. So the healing process, this transition with Papa was a big deal. But think about all the things that we actually store and have in our bodies
Mhm.
that disrupts our spirit,
Yeah.
that also in turn disrupts our body and our
Yeah.
organs and
Yeah.
things of that nature, and just holding on to so much
Yeah.
density
Mhm.
like over years. What it do, it can kill you, it
It
can
can.
shut you down.
Yeah, that's why
If a
yeah.
year and a half of non acceptance, this was just not accepting the fact that you know Papa is has transitioned, did a week's worth of damage. You already know what other things do, like how suppressing and holding on to other emotions can do.
Yeah, to follow up with that is absolutely true, and that's why so many people are suffering with chronic pain, chronic physical and emotional pain because what the body stores
One of them, yeah.
and holds on to, when it's not acknowledged and it's not released or transmuted, guess what? It makes manifest as chronic physical and emotional pain. These
That
ailments
part.
are not, you were not born with these ailments. These ailments
No.
are created and developed over time due to the imbalances and the dysregulation amongst your tissues and your organs,
Your
and in your
environment,
entire system.
which you are not
So
your environment, but your environment does play a role and can play a role.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And when I
so
mean your environment, it's your house and everything. You all know what I mean. Hell. Hell.
Okay. So that was that episode. That was really, really good. The next episode was your mother wound is keeping you small, child, regulating your nervous system. There we go again. Y'all, the mother wound, this is a common theme, I feel like, for a lot of us during this time. And it's not a coincidence, right? Like it's not that those, it's not a coincidence
These
that so
trends.
many of us are going through the same thing at the same time. 'Cause we're collective, we're all connected, we're all human beings, but we're all connected to one another in some way, shape, or form. And so, yes, your mother wound was more so again my story and me uncovering, my own shadows. And keeping yourself small is basically not expressing in the way that you truly want to express. That's just the best way to explain it. And a lot of us moving through our mother wound, you know, that's what it feels like for me at least. It kept me small. I wasn't showing up the way that I wanted to show up. I wasn't following up behind my creations and my tasks the way that I wanted to, all because of what I was taking up space in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like things that were taking place 20, 30 years ago. Some of which I didn't even like remember, you know what I mean? Like, but the emotions are still there. Like the impact is still there.
Mhm.
Even though the memory may not be. So that was what that was about.
Yeah, and my definition of like a mother wound when we're talking about wounds is exactly
Mhm.
what it is. You have father wounds, mother wounds,
Mhm.
wounds all over the place.
Okay.
Okay.
Child. Let
So
me get
for
a
my
break.
definition of it is it's just when you have a wound, it's just basically um the environment that you were in. So like your parents may not, you can go show them grace because what they were taught is what they're coming to the table with when they had, when you came into the picture. So the wounds just comes as like micro or macro traumas that take place that they're not aware of that are impacting you. And
Mhm.
um they can impact you negatively. Of course, we're talking about the negative, or I'm sorry, the lower vibrational side of things. Especially when you start to grow up and that's that where like you become aware of like, oh, this is not right, but it's still taking place in your home, or the abuse, like things, the awareness starts coming in, and then boom, the wounds start coming in.
Mhm.
It's just like unresolved trauma.
Yeah.
So that's
Exactly.
just kind of like my definition of that.
Exactly. That was beautiful. Side note, we're like halfway through the recap. So I just counted all the episodes. This is episode number 12, y'all. And that is so beautiful.
Hmm.
Because the number 12 represents healing. And I just, man, like that is just it seals the
It's
deal,
number three if you're doing numerology.
which is creation. Ah, yes, healing creation. I receive it. We are so in alignment right now. I love that. I freaking love that. Okay, guy. All right, thank you. We appreciate it. So the next the next episode was I want to do what I want. Um the push through when life makes it
I think we were
look
in front of that was me.
impossible.
I think that we was in front of the window.
Yeah, this was when the density was starting to come back, I think. Because we were in front of the window and this was a heavy episode. Do you remember this one?
Oh man, I think was the rolling into again. I don't remember the damn
Me
episode, but
neither.
I think it was just kind of a precursor to like the other episodes that were coming up. I think that was the mic drop to like everything else that the episodes after. Um
Yeah,
but it
probably.
was just I was just
Um,
waking up on that episode. Like I had
you
just
was
well
knocked
yeah,
out, but what was going was you moving through? You was moving through
I was
something.
definitely moving through some things during that time. I wish I could well,
Remember?
go
I
ahead and play
know.
a little snippet real quick and then see like kind of like, just fast forward a bit. It doesn't matter if it's playing out loud. Just kind of fast forward it a bit and see what we're talking about. Because yeah, I wasn't even trying to have it at that point.
I gotta take my
Yeah,
headphone out.
take a headphone out. Oh,
Girl,
was
you was
this I
tired.
was tired. So, was it just me like trying to focus on we're having a moment of silence, y'all, real quick.
I
Just
don't
try to
know.
recap this.
Girl, you was giving such density in this episode. I can't even. I don't know. But I know it was a good one, but
She be cracking me up.
I don't
Like
remember
she was
you
giving such density
cause
during this. Like
you
everybody has
literally
it, but she be
everybody does
like,
have it, but
"You ain't
you
giving such density." That's like it just
everybody
makes me
has
feel
it.
like I'm being repelled like some damn bug spray. Like you was just giving so much density. Like I just couldn't deal with it right then and there.
Oh no, I always
Bug
do.
spray.
I always hold space for you gracefully.
So like,
I
yo,
always hold space for you
stink.
gracefully. Yeah, stuff the density do be stinking sometimes, but I'll still be here with you in the bathroom.
Anywho,
I may have an instant, but I'ma be here.
so like, it all turns into like
Yo.
crazy shit. But anyways, I was moving through some things. I think it was
Yeah, I
just
don't
like
know.
probably like some projects that I wanted to complete and couldn't complete them, and wanted to just be focused on things to get them done. I think it was just so much going on
This was a month ago.
during that time.
So
So
it may have had
it
to do with the outside.
the
You think so?
outside, yeah, wanting to like complete that and like making decisions and then not following through with the decisions, and like,
Yeah, crossing your own
crossing my
boundaries.
own boundaries, and just if
That's
I
all
want
it
to fucking
was.
get it, if I want to get it done, I just want
I
to get
think
it
that's what it
done.
was. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
So it's just like, how I wanted to do, complete the outside is how I wanted to
I
do
think
it.
that's what it was.
And then miraculously, like kind of like after that, then
Yes.
things started like coming into
Girl.
place. So
Like
yeah, like
where's the sprinkly one? Where's the do we have one of those?
I don't know if we have a sprinkly one. There we go. That's
Yeah, there we
like
go.
a sprinkly
Yo,
one.
when I say like not only did things fall in place, okay, but things fell in place and she was showered in abundance, prosperity, and favor. Okay. Like she not only got to do what she wanted to do with the outside, but she did it in harmony and it was so freaking if like the outside is so beautiful. She got more than what she expected, more than what she imagined, more than what she desired. Am I right?
Well, because she's the wordsmith. I am too. I wouldn't have described it like that, but yeah, like
Oh, right. I was gonna say, like,
I'm gonna just go ahead and say yes to that.
right.
Hand
Yeah.
clap, hand clap, hand clap.
Yes.
Yeah, that was moving through that part.
You was such a
You know what? I can't wait into the new production because I want to be able to hit the clip. Y'all watch, take a watch, and listen.
Oh,
and
yes.
then like, so we can roll and cut into the clip, and then boom, back to production. Like I cannot wait for that.
It's coming
But
soon.
yeah, so that episode was definitely
what it was
just
about.
moving through or crossing my own boundaries really, and
Yeah.
just instead of just doing it,
Right. Because you made a decision.
not doing it. Yeah, once you make a decision to do something, you might as well go ahead and do it because that's your first initial.
Don't renege on it.
That's your first initial like intuition. I'm gonna call it that because that's what you wanted to do. If I didn't want to
Exactly.
roll the wall. I wanted to paint the damn wall.
You wanted to spray paint
Okay?
it. You wanted to
I wanted to have fun because I could do it. Damn it.
You want to do it.
And I wanted to do it in like 2.5 seconds.
And then you try to tell yourself you won't gonna do it, and you try to have an attitude with yourself, and yourself was like, "Bitch, no,
we finna spray this wall. Like you're not doing anything else
like
with it."
It's almost like you two-pieced your own self, knocked your own self out, and
broke back up.
Girl, it was between you and you. It was between her and
her.
It
was between me and me.
It always is.
Jade and Tiff like always going at it. Like,
they stay
toe to toe, nose to nose.
Every once in a while, Tiff be wanting to bring me into the ring, but I keep telling her, baby, it's not me. It's not me you want to bring into the ring.
She know what it's all about.
I know it is, but I love the shenanigans. Cause I love talking shit.
She says that.
I love talking shit.
But in it, it's just like
in it, it's like it's hard. It's absolutely hard.
It's not hard. It's challenging.
Tomatoes. Because
we always say challenging.
Tomatoes. But I fell in love with Tiff. So she got a big piece. She got all my heart. You know what I mean? And so does Jade. And so
it's so funny how we talk like this. It's the same damn person, but it's hilarious. But we have to like break the alter egos down.
Girl, because Tiffany is different than Jade, okay? She is the one and the same, but she comes from a different place, sometimes. She has more history, I guess.
For sure.
Jade is like the living the life after the releases. That's Jade. That's Jade and Koni. Living the life after the releases, after the journey of healing. And even though we're healing every day, it's a continuous journey.
Listen, I'm tired of that too.
You heal differently when you don't have as much trapped emotions, honey. It's not as chaotic. It's not as drama filled. It is just so much more graceful. You're less offended. you are less triggered, you are unbothered. And it's really an amazing thing. It's really just an opportunity to practice. You know what I mean? It's like an opportunity to grow, but also to just practice who you've already become, you know? So that's that on that.
Cool.
Check. Let's see. So that was that. Then the next episode was the art of giving to yourself, overcoming lack energy. Y'all, I feel like this was another heavy episode. Yep. This was the episode that one of our tribe mates, she was like, girl, I clutched my pearls. The energy that I could
I
feel coming from
told y'all
you.
that
She
episode, that last
she
episode,
grasped
was
all her
the
pearls.
precursor for the rest of them.
That episode right there.
Yeah, the last episode with like me moving through the density
Let me see
piece.
how many more episodes we had after that. That already given. So that was one. Let me see. One, two,
You could
three,
see like the transitioning from the
four.
energy.
That was 4 episodes ago, y'all. So if you haven't seen it, please go and watch this shit. It is so full of. It's so full
It's
of.
not, but it's raw and it's
It's
real.
raw and it's real. It's raw and it's
So
real. But we both was moved. We both was moved in that episode. I was getting in the beginning. I was like,
I don't. The thing is, I wasn't moved in in the episode. See, this is the thing. I was being myself, which is expressing who I am and just like giving like exactly how I feel.
right.
And because of that, I did it because we know each other enough to know like what's up, what's good. But because of she played it off so well, I didn't really see it because I'm still in bits of T mode. But our tribe mate was just like, yo,
Y'all
I watched
right?
that episode
She went to work stressed.
and
Not stressed. But she
and
went to
it
work
was
with my energy.
like,
She had my energy in her body.
yo, I felt it the next day. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. It was like, yeah, well, the next day, some things really
It popped off.
popped
Like
off.
you were actually moved. You
Like
just held
I
it
wasn't
together.
moved at all. I was
But
moved
the next day,
because of she was moved because I had no idea that like this had taken place. I didn't know
Right.
like this stuff was still going on. So again, when I get blindsided by something, like I get dysregulated because I'm just like,
Mhm.
well, this wasn't going on last night. Like there was no mention of it, and then like it's just kind of like I wasn't ready.
Right. And the reason why I was moved, y'all, is because we're actively doing work at the same time for our own individual journeys. You know what I mean? So we're oftentimes like triggers for each other because we're so close to each other. We work together, we are partners in love, we do life together. And so because I was already moving within my shadow work and um doing a lot of my own releases and stuff, things were coming up for me that I didn't realize was there. And so, in the episode when she mentioned like, I don't do anything, that was the thing that triggered me because like, I was moving through my own shadow work. And so that was the thing. She didn't do anything to me. It was just me being triggered because of the thing was already at the surface ready to be released. I was already doing the work for it to come up and out. And so that's where that came from. And it did get a little
I
spicy. I
again,
was gonna say
I
spicy.
I don't know if it got
Girl, you don't remember? You don't remember the spice that went down? The spice
what the
that
day after.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the day after. But the show
Yeah.
I thought was really
Oh, no,
good.
the show was great,
That was
but
great.
after the show,
After the party,
it's
it's
the
the
after party.
after party.
Yeah, it got real spicy in this piece.
Yeah, it really did, yo. Like
I
I
think
wish again I
it
could
got the
just like
spiciest I
play
think
the episode so y'all could see like the part where
yeah, where it
Tribe was
happened.
like, yo, this is where I saw the transition. This is where I saw the shit go down. It went downhill from there, Negro. How did you not see that?
Oh my god,
I'm
that's
like,
funny.
I was still like in bits of tea and like, ooh, that was a good show at the end. Like,
Yeah, and I was too, and how I was moving after the show was just a symptom of like what I was already like moving through. So I wasn't intentionally or consciously like trying to be a smartass, but I was moving in that kind of way. Like, no, I got it, I got it. Like, no, I got it. I could do it. Like, you know what I mean?
oh yeah,
Because
wow, that
I was
episode was
moved.
so much in that, but we gotta keep
It
moving.
was right. We could
So
sit
much.
here and
Y'all
process that
gotta watch
again.
it.
I may have to watch it again. I don't know.
Oh, I like to watch
Alright.
Us. I listen to
I
Us
love watching us.
on the way to taking Kimmy to school and stuff like that. Like, I
I love
actually
watching us.
listen to Us again and again just to,
Right.
because we do have, a little nuggets in there
Right.
that really, we need to hear over again.
You're
It's like our
right.
own hypnosis. It's like,
Yeah, you're
oh, like,
right.
see where we're at. It's good to see where we're at and then where we're going.
Exactly, I agree. We should also start doing our food vlogs again, but with a little mixture of bits of tea, just like a little tiny bit of like, um,
Like life.
yeah, a little life encouragement. Cause those flu yo, if you've ever watched any
We
of
could
our
probably
food
do that. I would
vlogs,
rather do it
when I
live than
say, "Oh my god, so
if we're
funny,"
gonna do it.
live?
Yeah, so I don't have to edit.
Okay, true.
But
But our
because like
food
the
vlogs be
equipment.
so funny. Oh my gosh, I love watching them over and
So
over
they're yeah,
again. They're so true.
those are on the site too, like
Yes, they're
YouTube or
hilarious.
whatever.
Y'all
Like
go through the shit
go
because we
through the
got a
stuff.
lot of content
Yeah,
on here. We
on
got a
there.
lot of videos from when Connie and Tiffany was in the building, and we were just reckless. Like we was just showing up like da 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 da. Coming
Cause
at the
we was
plaza.
like we could do YouTube. Like
Yeah,
that's why we were like
yeah.
we could do this.
Yes, and
And screw the algorithms, whatever.
we don't care
We
about
just gotta
algorithms.
get on the
We do want to spread the awarenesses of what we talk about and what we're advocates for, which is reframing thoughts and behaviors, and really showing
bit my
people how to
jaw,
make your life a
child.
priority because this is what making your life a priority is all about. It's about doing the motherfucking work, okay? So that you can live a more vibrant life, so that you can live in your true authenticity and you can max out your potential. Y'all already know what it is. Let's get it. All right. So that was that or whatever. And then the next episode was how to process trauma and the BTS of shadow work, which was
BTS, which I didn't know
behind the scenes.
is that.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that for a while. It's not that it just came up now, but I was like, what the hell is a BTS? And you know
Girl.
how you're like the kid in school and you don't want to raise your hand and be like, I don't know what that is. I know, or like, I know what it is, but I actually don't know
Oh
what it
my
is. I'm not going to
God.
raise my hand to
Just like you didn't
ask.
know about NFL. Yo, if you are watching this episode or you catching the replay, let me know in the comments if you know what the acronym N4L means, okay?
National
Because
Football League.
we used to N4L. We used to initial this in like our yearbooks and stuff like that in high school. And I feel like people of the black and brown community, I thought we all knew what this was, but apparently not all of us do. So, but if you do in the comments, drop an
AKA me
N4L,
and
drop
some
an
other a
N4L in
few.
the comments if you know what that means.
The
And we already know
NFL.
like the love is received and given right back. So shout out to all my NFLs out there.
National Football League.
That's so funny. Okay, so how to process trauma and the BTS of shadow work, which we've been talking about this whole time. That was that episode. The next episode is stepping into your power and loving family unconditionally without judgment. We didn't even touch on that part. I may have to take that part of the segment out, like the title, because we didn't even get into that. You had such a word for us during this episode, I believe. Let me go ahead and click
Yeah,
on
that
it.
actually didn't change because we was like, are we gonna go into that? And actually we was supposed to go into that.
The wedding,
We
right?
might actually have a bonus episode, hell, because it was too good of a time of observation for us
Ew, it was so
not
good.
to have an episode on it. But that's when we were
Yeah.
out of town attending two weddings. But
Shout out
I
to my
had
sissy. She's
yeah,
married now. You all had us
yes. Whoop,
involved
whoop,
in two
whoop,
weddings,
whoop, whoop,
child. That
whoop,
was a
whoop, whoop,
movie
whoop,
that whole week.
whoop.
Shout out to the
So
moves and things. I love you, sissy.
so yeah, we actually that title does need to get changed
Right.
because I just had a question and then you was just like, well, let's just go into it
It was
then.
such a great conversation.
Yeah, so that one is that's a good one. All of them are good. I'm not even
Every single last
they're
one.
really good as far as like information. You know what I'm saying? It's like some
Yeah.
information and some real nuggets that I feel will, assist you, period.
Yeah, and real life experiences too. I feel
Yeah.
like when I hear people's stories, it helps me to better understand my own story.
Yeah.
I can better process what I'm going through and I can integrate with whatever aligns. Like if I hear a tool or a technique or a process that like seems really, really easy for me to grasp and implement, guess what? I'm going to do it. And that's
Facts.
the whole point of us sharing our stories. That's the whole point of being vulnerable
Yeah,
so that we
sharing your
can
stories
get the
can
nuggets.
can actually help another person. So,
Yeah, so stepping into your power, which has everything to do with authentic expression and really just stepping into you and what you want to do and how you want to feel and how you want to be seen and all the things, right? And so the next episode was, I think, one of my favorites, to be honest, because I was in such a beautiful place just in that moment after the session with my client. And this is the power of an active imagination. Active imagination. Need some effects.
Girl, she threw that in there. That's funny.
Yeah, so the power of an active imagination, which is what we do here at Sound Mind and Body Wellness, also known as hypnosis, right? Um, you okay?
Yeah, this is it's tight.
Oh, the headphones?
Mhm. I'm just adjusting them right now, so
Yeah, so oftentimes we imagine life with the problem, okay? And I don't know about y'all's problems, but my problems and challenges be like annoying broke ass roommates that just always want to be there and they don't contribute to much. I mean they do, but you know what I mean. And so when we imagine life, we don't take the time to
there
imagine
we go.
life without the problem. We don't take the time to vision out what life could be like if the problem was already solved. And so that is what hypnosis is. Hypnosis helps you discover, number one, what the problem is, what you feel is the problem, and then it helps you discover from your own mind what life is like without the problem. And once you discover that, you create suggestions, new thought patterns, and neurological pathways to insert into the mind. And so hypnosis has changed our life tremendously. It is such a powerful tool that I personally was sleeping on. I was a skeptic. I'm like, this, I never even paid too attention. I didn't even give it a chance until we did our rebranding and it was gifted to us and we became certified
That's wild.
hypnotherapists. That is so wild. Like, huh? And that was like God did not tell us about that. There was no warning. There was no release. There was no nothing.
Right.
It was like
And I'm
surprise.
like still even with the certification, like I'm still moving through how um to actually just integrate it,
Hmm.
you know, within my beliefs, I guess you want to
Right.
call that too.
Yeah.
Um it's finding its way in there.
It's
It's
finding
gonna
its
it's
way.
yeah, it's fig I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm moving through it because I'm
Right.
always dissecting things. So
Right. I think the most beautiful part about all the tools that we have access to and that we utilize is that we can use them however way we want. We can
facts.
literally mix and match. You was like at one point when I was processing when went on my secretary, you was like, "Yo, I literally just watch you do the AOC hypnosis. Like you literally implemented emotional release. You literally implemented all the techniques in like one like paragraph of dialogue. Remember? I was on one. It was just like so much clarity. But I think it's really cool for all facilitators of healing to be able to utilize your tools in the ways that you want to utilize them. Is co-creation with the Most High. You can use them however way you want.
Because it's intuition at the end of the day. Whoever
Hmm.
started these
Intuition based.
certifications and things like that, it just blows me because that wasn't before. It's like, you didn't seek high counsel from a scholar. You sought it for somebody who's using their intuition.
You talking about like our
In
ancestors?
general, yeah, just like as
Yeah.
far as like folks feel that having a certificate behind something is a trusted source, right? But
Call them
as
out.
we
Call them out.
know, if y'all already seen, there was some people that said that they were degreed and come to find out they wasn't degreed, but you
You talking about
trusted them
the
anyway.
hospital or the
Yeah, that whole incident with like so many
girl,
people
all
with
them
false
doctors and nurses.
documents.
Yo,
So I'm just like,
it's true.
so at the end of the day, certification only gets you so far, because sometimes people's hearts are not vested in those certifications either.
Right.
So when you're following your path, especially if you're a healer, I'm learning this now, like not you're gonna find some things in some books, yeah. You're gonna be able to have the logical aspects of it, but it's up to you to use your intuition on how you want to now, you know, put your stank on it,
Like
if you want to
integrate
say
with it.
integrate with it. But
Yeah.
all of it's intuition, in my
Hmm.
opinion.
Yeah, and it's super dope because in my vision, life, and align sessions, I utilize tools from hypnosis to help me and the client get to the core root, right? To like really discover what's going on unconsciously so that we can go ahead and start to reframe some things. And am I taking them through, deep
The induction,
relaxation, the
no.
induction? No. But do they feel deeply relaxed and excited and inspired? Yes. You know what I mean? So you get to use different aspects from the tools that you have available to better assist your clients. And how that comes about is through your intuition. You know what I mean? Like you can have a certain framework set up, but then you just follow your intuition after that and
And
you just let it
everybody is
happen.
different too, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Like every person that you interact with is not going to receive the exact same
Yeah,
like
the session is different for everybody.
session because if you start formulating it like that, then your everyday, which I would like to call a ritual, like if it's the same, it starts or it begins to lose its magic. That's what I like to call it because it's like you're doing the same thing for everybody, but everybody is constructed differently. So the tools that you have, like Coney says, sometimes it might get used individual life in the line. Sometimes it might be, utilized a different way with a different client. It could be just sitting here going through the intro as we're trying to find out what's going on with your body physically.
Mm-hmm.
It could be used then. It could be used while you're on the table. So
It like
it's
like yo,
it's
for
so many
real.
different ways to
Yeah,
do it, but it's customizable to the client.
exactly. Yeah, that's dope. That's super, super dope. So that was that one. And then the last season, or I keep saying last season, the last episode is this one, the season finale, where we just did a full recap, which was freaking beautiful. That
Yeah.
was so much fun. Like we went down memory lane. And to give you guys an update on where we are as far as, like our relationship, happily ever after.
Yeah, facts.
You give some words. Where are you now from all those episodes this season, like with in our relationship and stuff like that?
I still love you. That's not gonna change. Because I see you in my life as not just, you know, my person to do life with, but
Mhm.
also as, a teacher and a mentor. Like those things are also intertwined with you. Even though, like, sometimes I'll just be like, "I don't feel like doing that shit today. I'm not gonna get in front of nothing. I'm not gonna chime no damn bells. I'm not doing nothing," because I don't feel like it. But at the end of the day, like, I just, appreciate your persistence you know, and your consistency and how you are with it, with, me. There might be like internally things that I'm dealing with in regards to shifting my
Mhm.
attitude about how our relationship is. Um because that's just my shit that I'm going through.
Right.
But it has nothing to do with you. And that
Right.
just
Which I know.
I'm moving through my, escapism.
Yo,
I'm
I'm like
moving
I'm
through my
like
fucking escapism
and
because
I'm like
every
the
single
Houdini
time
chain. I'm like, you're not getting out of this.
so
Like, you're
every
gonna face it.
time So not every time, but a lot of time when the unworthiness is there, like you just sometimes you just want to you because I've adopted this, I've done it by myself,
Mhm.
for X amount of time.
Yeah.
I've adopted that and it's just became um a part of my code. I'm gonna call it a code.
Mhm. Mhm.
So the code needs to be rewritten. The program needs to be rewritten. And I have to understand that there are people, aka you, comrades that look at me and see me in the way that I am, who I
Mhm.
am,
Mhm.
and that, I'm not here to do this thing alone. Because
Right.
when multiple come together, things happen. You by yourself trying to come on, bro. It's
Yeah.
difficult because you'll continue to see like the difficult and then it comes to the like, see, nobody's there for me. I'm gonna be, I had to do
It's
it for
a
myself
vicious cycle.
anyway. It's definitely a vicious cycle. So to up to date, yeah, like I am, I am so pleased, with where we're growing.
Yeah.
And it only does get stronger.
Every
you
day gets
know,
better with us.
every day
That's
gets
one
I
of
remember
our
that. Like, we used to
that's
say that all the
all the
time.
time. Maybe we
We
should
need to
start
bring
saying it
that back,
again.
yeah.
Yeah. We had like affirmations for us as a couple that we would say every single day. And I think on other seasons we would say it at the end, right? Like every day gets better with us
No,
or
it's we still said,
oh, it was the
beginning
beginning
of
of the
the
day
day
with
that
love.
yeah, we still
Okay.
did that one, but
And
not
that's
I think
yeah.
Every Day Gets Better With Us was just kinda like a if I was leaving and going somewhere, it was just one of those,
Yeah. We would
a
just
hug,
say it
like, "Every day gets
like a
better with
hug.
us," and then, like,
Yeah.
during the embrace, and then we'd roll out and have
Yeah.
to go,
That's so
do our
sweet. We
thing.
should definitely bring that back.
Um,
Every day gets better with us.
yeah.
That was such a great affirmation. It helps us refocus too, especially when we both are moving through things. And I think this is, this is really, really good for other couples.
If you wanna
Like
try it out,
if you want
yeah.
to try it out, definitely is doing the work together is so fulfilling. It is a challenge at times, but it gets better after every release. Like I feel like we get stronger, we grow more in love, we get more, we're more understanding of each other, all the things. We learn more about each other. We discover because we're learning about each other's now. We're learning about each other.
Oh, hell no. Go ahead.
We're learning about each other now. So it's like, you're gonna go through these processes of like, hell.
You know
Yo, when I say the
what?
shenanigans is really ridiculous, I can't with Florida. But anyway, so every day gets better with us. And then of course the mantra that we say at the end of every episode is just stands true. Begin the day with love, fill the day with love, end the day with love. That's another really good mantra and affirmation to share with your partner. And this could be any partner, any partner.
Yeah, and then I wanna touch on real quick, and this episode is running a little bit past our time just because it's the finale, right?
Yeah,
So
we don't need
just
no
know that
bonus
we don't need no
episodes.
bonus episodes afterwards. But there was this one epiphany that I had in regards to like triggers because it
Uh-huh.
was like, the saying goes like we always, we hurt the thing that's closest to us. That saying right there, right? So I had an epiphany a while back, and I was just like, nah, like I'm not trying to live my
Right.
life like that. I don't want to hurt. I really truly don't want to hurt the thing that's closest to me. Like I don't want to do that. So
Right.
why would I do that? And I also came up with like we used to say like we are each other's triggers and catalyst. And I'm just like, yo, I don't want to be that either. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
because it's all in what we say and how we say it. And then it's like when we go through it, we forget what we say. And then the next thing you know, it's like, oh, well, we did say that.
Right.
So words and vibrations are powerful. So I was just like, I really don't want to be your trigger. I don't want to be a catalyst for you to do any of that anymore. I don't want to hurt the closest thing to me. I was like, if I want these
Right.
experiences, I'd rather have or be able to practice with the environment. And now, what I mean by that was with the people that are outside of us. I'd
Yes.
rather be able to pick up on like if I'm still moving through something or if they say something
Mhm.
that triggers me, I'm more likely not to throw anything back. I'm more than
Right.
likely to absorb that, take that in and be like, "Oh shit, I felt something on that." Keep
Right.
my composure and then go back to
Do the
that
work.
thing and then do the work that is
Yep.
necessary to be done. So,
Yes. And it has worked, babe. Like ever since you set that intention and you released us both from that paradigm and that concept because you're right. Like we don't have to be triggers or catalysts for each other to learn lessons. It can happen externally in the outside world and we could just be our support and we could just be our safe haven. And yeah, obviously you're still gonna have those moments of density. It has to happen. It's polarity, it's duality. However, as far as triggering and being catalyst for, and hurt feelings and stuff, no, that does not have to it don't have to be us no more. And you released us both and it hasn't been
I'm
like
not
that.
doing that.
Yeah, we literally you set the tone for that. And I'm like, I received that. I received that. And
And when things
it's
start be going, I'm like, no, this is not the time. This is not what I'm wanting to do.
right,
This is not where we're wanting to go. This is
right,
not how the conversation is gonna end. No, we're gonna let that go now. Like we're not doing this
right.
because that's just not. I'm not doing it.
It's not the experience we
It's not
want.
the experience. No. So no, I don't want to be hold hurt. Hurt the closest thing to me. I'd rather be
Me
more
neither.
protective of that energy than anything. Because we're both sensitive. So
Girl, sensitive, sensitive. Um Yeah, I love that. So yeah, I mean, so this was an amazing
No, how do you
episode.
feel?
How do I feel?
Yeah, you asked me first, so I know you wanna get off here, but
Oh, how do
I
I
had
feel?
also, like, so how do you feel, like, where we're at right now? Like, how are you feeling?
Um, I feel the same way you feel. I feel good. I'm always satisfied when you make your breakthroughs and when I make mines too. I'm always like, yes, thank you, God. I pray for us. We pray together. We pray, we give honor all the time.
I need to do more of that.
I my faith is really, really strong. And so, I always am giving honor on your behalf and on my behalf and our behalf together as a family. And so every single opportunity, every single OTG, that we overcome, I'm grateful because I can see you outside of the lenses that you're looking through. You know what I mean? And so I see the quickness in, how fast you're able to move through and how fast you're able to process and how quickly you're able to integrate with the practices and the tools. And I see the response of it. And yeah, like my feelings are, my feelings are not being hurt and we're not being triggers and catalysts for each other. It's less and less each time. Like I can see the evolution.
Facts.
And I'm always grateful and I'm very patient. I see you. I grow more in love with you every day. And you reassure me at times that, like there's so much more that you would like to express and that you're working towards it. And I'm here like I support you in that,
Yeah.
because I'm ready to receive that too. Like I don't want us to be in this space of like holding space and working through trauma and releasing
Hell
it
no.
for
I'm trying
no,
to
I'm trying to
trying to
live.
like quantumly, take 20 plus years of um macro and micro traumas, which it starts with the heart, you know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
like when the heart, you know, starts to grow or beat a little bit slower or less, and like the trauma begins to harden your heart, is that's the word. Like it's almost like once the heart chakra begins to open up, because that's all it is, it's about the love piece and
Mhm.
the being able to feel that love and understand that love and know that like this is how the world is going to heal, this is how I'm going to heal, because there's a lot of people walking around with some hardened hearts,
Right.
some unforgiveness, and all types of things. So
Mhm.
um I know for a fact, like it's here, and once this opens up fully to its
Um
capacity,
yeah, I'm ready for it.
you know what I'm saying? Then I just feel like I just know, it's not feel, I know that, the world is going to be my world, which is the world, when I say my world, is going to be blown um
Mhm.
away. So it's things of the heart, damaging
Yeah.
damages to the heart. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I feel about it. Like I feel really, really good.
Yeah, it's just a nerve-wracking thing. It's nerve-wracking because
For
oh,
you?
yeah, it's nerve-wracking.
Okay. You want to
Um
talk more about it or you want to get into it?
no.
Oh, it sounded like we was about to start up a whole nother dialogue because you was like
Mm-mm.
it's nerve wracking. I was about to ask you like more questions about what's nerve wracking.
Yeah, no. It's just as far as like, like letting go, like the heart letting go of what letting its guard down. Let's put it that
Okay,
way. The heart letting its guard down because
got
it's been
you,
so guarded.
got you.
Um,
I would say yes for me
because of
too.
the darts have been
Yeah,
to
for
get
sure,
thrown.
for sure.
And then you're carrying the
Hmm.
heart is actually carrying all of that. Everything else is great, but it's really coming back to this thing right here.
Because since you look young and good and vital and vibrant as hell,
And I
you don't look like what you've been
to
through.
yeah, to be I I just owe that, it just like, having that mantra is like today's a new day. Like waking up is like today's a new day, like the past is already gone. And just working through it that way is,
Hmm.
it's still there, but just working through it in that manner. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautifully said.
Yeah, so it looks like it's about in. Like eyes is getting red, and I'm yawning over here, and she's like, "Are you done talking yet? Because I'm ready to get up off this thing."
That's not
So
how it was.
yeah, so it's crickets after that. So when she ain't got nothing left to say, because that's barely, because she always got a lot to say, but she over there like, I'm falling out. Kids gonna be coming in here pretty soon. We gotta wrap
Yeah.
things up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that
But it
makes
was
sense.
such a great episode. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in this season. Make sure you guys catch the replay. Make sure you share this conversation with those that you feel like, would align. Tribe is definitely here. Shout out to Sound Mind and Body Wellness, you guys. If you don't know, we are the founders of a holistic wellness space in Pinellas Park where we offer therapeutic massage for spiritual healing. Okay. And so all new clients receive a 30-minute session on us. Come and receive the gift. You do have to apply to receive it. And so make sure you visit our site,
Fill out that
SMBW,
form.
SMBW2.com. Fill out the form. Okay. And y'all need to pull up on Sunday because it's really about to be a scene. You feel me? And come aesthetically pleasing. Come like you are ready to be seen. Like it's a networking social. We're gonna have so much fun right here at Sound Mind and Body Wellness, 4 to 8 p.m.
Yo, I love how we're utilizing the space. I love how you're utilizing the
Beautiful.
space.
Thank you.
Cause there be sometimes I'll be like, yo, her visions be big.
Do they really?
And I'll be like, we're
How
gonna
is
fit
that?
how many people where, honey? Like for her birthday, and I'm gonna get leave off this. Okay, so for her birthday, like she was like, yo, I wanna have blah blah blah. I'm like, babe, like you wanna have all of this in this space? Like there was one, two, three, what are we four? We have four, yeah, it was four vendors.
Mhm.
Four vendors in this space.
Yeah,
Damn well could have been almost five. Like, but she said, like, yo, we fit to do it all in this little space here.
we did.
And I just be like, girl, go ahead, do what you do. Cause
And
like, and that's
did.
it. And she did what she did. People showed up
And how was
and
it?
it was actually pretty
It was a fucking
dope.
vibe.
Yeah, it was pretty dope.
It
It
was
was
a
pretty
fucking
dope.
vibe. That's what it was.
So I was just like, I don't know how the hell she be pulling this stuff off,
We
but
had a whole photo
I just
shoot.
be
Oh
sitting
my
back and be
god.
like, you know what? I ain't got nothing to do with
You
this.
just gotta let me do it.
You just go ahead and do because if I interfere,
Just gotta let me do it.
I'm gonna be like, nope,
Right. She's shutting
that's not gonna
everything
work.
down. Right.
Maybe you should do it like this. Maybe you should do it that. And that's the reason why I was like, sounding like my daddy. So I need to be like,
We work
stop
so
it.
beautifully together. It's like, when I have a vision, I share the vision with you and then you help me to like see it even clearer. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is what I'm gonna do outside. You just contribute where you can because I'm gonna go through with the vision. And so you just
Yeah, I
literally
just
just
be
you
like,
hold space.
okay.
You be like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that.
And you do what you
You do the
do.
rest. And
Cause
that's
I ain't got
exactly what's
I'm not
happening.
fitting to do it.
And that's
Cause I just
exactly
be
what's
like, I don't know
happening.
how we going. But
Just
it's
like
happening.
just like with the market, you was able to help me see like where we can position our vendors. You got that side together for boots, honey, for the event. You know what I mean? And now it's like we both can see the vision. We're both super excited about it, and you already know, like we already know how everything is going to flow. We have order and structure, and it's beautiful. So
Yo, come through.
I'm excited. Okay, on that note, begin the day with love.
Fill the day with love.
End
End
the
the day
day
with
with love.
love.
Peace.
Peace.